When the only constant in life is change, you need to be ready. This is the Man-Made Survival Show.
Hello everybody, my name is Jose Pro Man-Made Survival, and thank you so much for coming back to the channel and watching this video, because this information is very important, especially with the CDC changing its tune about people preparing. But before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and give you the number of infected. It's 114,073 infected, 4,018 dead, and out of the United States is 644. Even though they have not, that number hasn't really changed in the past 24 hours, so at least before I came out to do this video, but I'm sure it's going to increase as they keep testing more people, and we have the ability to do so with other universities and labs and all that stuff. But anyways, CDC, Americans over 60 should stock up supplies and avoid crowds. This from The Hill. And just out of that headline, it tells you everything you need to know. Because at first, the CDC was telling people, oh, don't worry about it. The average American don't need to stock up on supplies. They don't need a mask. They don't need anything. You need to live your life as normal as possible and just forget it. It's just like the flu. It's just the flu, But then, their behavior is completely different to just the flu. And you can ask Italy on that one. But anyways, now they're telling people over 60 to stock up. And that's it's a little late in some areas to do so, because price gouging has been starting to, stick its ugly head up. And not only that, elderly people would more than likely get hurt. If you saw the past video I made, the Panic and Pandemonium video, you see how people are starting to react, all right? And older people, at that age, they're very likely to get mugged, to just get pushed around, to get hurt. So if you're an elderly person who's decided to go ahead and go and stock up on stuff, then I would suggest, go to Walmart or a place that's open 24/7 and get your supplies, in the middle of the night around 1, 2, 3 in the morning. And because more than likely, there's not going to be a lot of people out there. So that would be a perfect opportunity for you to be able to get what you need. Hopefully you can still get your hands on it and not have to worry about, people pushing you around and stuff. And not only that, the CDC, now that it's telling people over 60 to stock up, I'm pretty sure it won't be long before they tell the regular average American to just go ahead and stock up, even though there's already panic buying in some areas. And the bad thing is that the panic buying is only happening in areas where now they have confirmed cases. So beforehand, they didn't really care. It's just the flu. Holy crap, it's in my town. Let's just go ahead and stock up. All right, and I'm sure you've seen all the news videos on that. But anyways, that'll take me to the next headline. And I have been saying this from the beginning. When all of this started, I was telling people you still have time, to prepare, or you're gonna pay for the same product a lot more money. Here's the headline: hand sanitizer is flying off the shelves for $79 and $109 a bottle at one New York City hardware store. This from Zero Hedge. But it's not just the hand sanitizer. It's a lot of stuff too. Online, like the buckets that I have behind me, they, at first, let's say I got it for $50. Now they're selling for $200. So getting it offline on Amazon it's just gonna be very, very expensive. All right, here's what the article says. Taking advantage of the ongoing panic, H&G is now selling 1,200 milliliter bottles of Purell, a bottle that regularly costs about $5.49 for $79. And the price doesn't seem to be deterring people from buying them either. An employee at the store told the New York Post, everyone who comes in the store buys them. We sold about 50 of those today. And a hardware store was also offering a large 2-liter bottle of Purell for $109 each. It sold out of its supply. Another thing that I've been saying is people obviously do have the money for these things. They just do not have the prepper lifestyle in place for them to see, in the future and say, man, I'm probably going to need this for this scenario, so I'm going to go ahead and store it, I mean, you're still going to use it anyway, so you can just rotate your stock. And you obviously have the money for it if you're paying $109 for a bottle of hand sanitizer. I mean, just for that price, you can get a bucket that has a month's worth of food, for the same price when there's no panic or no disaster or anything like that. But the point is that if you prepare before the panic hits, you can save a lot of money. Mayor Bill de Blasio, always eager to stick his nose into affairs of someone else's private business, commented that it sounds like price gouging. "I like my Department of Consumer Affairs to pay them a visit immediately," de Blasio said. Rich for Comments, an Ace Hardware representative, the parent corporation of the hardware store, said, "Retailers are independent businessmen and women with sole control over the operations of their business, including pricing decisions and policies. Meanwhile, the rise in price reflects the extraordinary spike in demand for the product, which, along with Lysol wipes, has also risen 1,400% from December to January, according to CBS. Laxman Nareshman, I'll probably kill his last name, CEO of Lysol parent Rickett Beckinser, said last week the company's people are working around the clock with consumers in mind." All right, so everything goes up. Now, it's not just the hand sanitizer, but other things too. People are taking advantage of the crisis, so they're making a lot of profit out of people panicking. So that's why I always said, and I keep saying, do not panic. Some places still have time to sit down with your family, look at the things you need. You don't need 20 packs of toilet paper. You need other things. First, you need your food, your water. If you can, you need to get 2 years worth of food, and water. And then outside of that, then you get the things you need. But, now it's very expensive, so you're probably going to want to wait until this blows over to buy it in cheap. But, I mean, if you need it, go ahead and get it. I'm not saying don't get it right now. I'm saying it would be smart for you to get into the prepper lifestyle when all of this is blown over. And then when something else happens, whatever other crisis, you will have it in hand and you won't have to worry about it again. Go out there, panic buy, and then spend a bunch of more money than you would any other time. Here's the next headline. "We've entered the hunker down in place stage." This from Zero Hedge. "We're lucky for one thing. The crisis of advanced civilization is striking at the very start of the planting season. If you're prudent, you can begin at once to organize serious gardening efforts if you live in a part of the country where that is possible. I go heavy on potatoes, cabbages, winter squash, and beans because they're all keepers over winter. Baby chickens sell at the local stores for a few bucks each now, and you'll be very grateful for the eggs. Get a rooster, even though they're a pain in the butt, and you won't have to buy any more chicks." And, it is true. So if you have the opportunity to go ahead and get like a little farm set up, just get it set up, all right? For when you need it, then you can just, put the seeds on the ground. You can get the chickens. You can have the rabbits, and you will have somewhere to put them, to be able to farm them and, harvest their meat, their eggs and all that. But it's also something that you have to do beforehand. It's something you have to plan beforehand. You cannot just all of a sudden just rush to the store and then build what you need and then, live off of that. If at all possible, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and have the plants and everything you're going to need for it. Because the buckets of food, your canned foods, that in a crisis, that should mainly be for out-of-season planting or, where you cannot grow any more food. Or at least not the food that you might eat that you can easily grow in the summer. So the point is that if your crops fail, you will have your buckets of food or your cans to fall back onto instead of not having anything to eat. So if you can save the buckets of food or the cans and just plant the stuff and eat what you're growing, it would be a lot better in the time of crisis than just hoarding what you get and then just eat it all and then you don't know what to do next, which is something that we saw in China. And let's not forget, everything that is being chaotic is mainly in the cities. It's not so much in the country. So if you live in the country, then count your blessings because more than likely it won't be as bad as in the city. but it doesn't mean that it's not going to affect your life either. All right, the prices of food and everything else can go up too, and things can get dicey as well. So don't think that just because you're in the country and you don't have much population, doesn't mean that you won't be affected in any possible way. It just might not be as bad, as critical, but it will happen. But anyways, and you will have more chances of surviving whatever catastrophe. So again, my name is Jose Prado. Please like this video. Please share this video with your friends and family, because this information is important. And I encourage you, and I hope that I inspire you to take on the prepper lifestyle. So the next crisis that comes along, or the next disaster, whatever it is, instead of being a disaster, it will be more of an inconvenience. And you will know what to do, and there won't be any panic for you or your family. All right? But again, my name is Jose Prado, Man Survival, always ready.
The Man-Made Survival Show.